Welcome back to another exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Halloween Horror Nights 2009. I'm John Murdy, and today we are in Boneyard Effects, which is our makeup vendor for Halloween Horror Nights 2009. Now, one thing we've told you guys before, nothing is off the shelf for Halloween Horror Nights. Every single character, and we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of characters, we create from scratch with the benefit of all of these wonderfully talented artists. Now, how do you create the characters for Halloween Horror Nights? Well, it starts with a character rendering. We create concept art for what we want the characters to look like, and then from there we take the concept art and we create what's called a sculpt. And you can see over my shoulder right now, that's exactly what's taking place. So once we have the sculpt exactly how we want it, then we turn it over for the molding process. And standing next to me is Larry Bones. He's our head makeup artist for Halloween Horror Nights from Boneyard Effects.
At this point, we now have a mold. What we have here is a representation of the sculpt in negative form. What we do at that point is we create foam latex. We mix it up in a mixer, we inject it into these molds, and into the oven they go.
So once the mold has been put into the kiln, this is what comes out the other side. I think you'll recognize some of these. Here we have Pigman from Saw, and these are fresh masks that have just come out of the kiln and they're ready to be painted. But masks are not the only thing we do for Halloween Horror Nights. We also use facial prosthetics, and that's what you see here. Some of these are just what we call appliances, like a ripped throat. And some of these are full faces that we put on our performers. For Halloween Horror Nights, we have to create thousands and thousands of these. Now, some characters for Halloween Horror Nights, like our stilt-walking devil here, are very complicated and they involve several different pieces. For the devil, you see we're casting the devil's head, and then we have to add the horns on separately. So these are foam latex horns. These will all get hardened so they don't wobble, and they weigh very, very little so the performer can wear them all night long. And then we have to cast the devil's chest piece. Now, once we have that chest piece painted and detailed, all of that gets integrated into the costume process.
This year we have about 372 looks, and each look consists of different kinds of garments, so there could be 5 or 6 garments for each look. And of the 372 looks, about 182 of them we're building from scratch with our skilled craft team. It means patterning and picking out fabrics. And one of the things that we're doing right now is a jigsaw robe, or a Pigman jigsaw robe from the movie Saw. A lot of the times what we have to do is take a garment and build it from scratch so that it fits each performer. And then we have to take it through a series of aging. So sometimes that's just teeing it down, making it look weathered, or making little rips that would happen in a garment that you wear over and over again, or adding blood stains. There's a lot of garments we actually have to rig because the performer has lost an arm, or he has some kind of gag that is spraying something at you from his neck. So while it looks normal from the outside, on the inside it's actually rigged so that it can show you that effect.
Now it's time to answer some more of your questions from Twitter. One question we received is, when did we start planning Halloween Horror Nights 2009? And the answer to that question is, during Halloween Horror Nights 2008. For us at Universal Studios Hollywood, Halloween Horror Nights has become a year-round project. The work never stops. Another question we got is, how do we decide which horror movies to choose to make our haunted attractions for Halloween Horror Nights? And that is an excellent question, and it has a very specific answer. We actually have 3 criteria that we look for in any horror movie property before we decide to turn it into one of our mazes. First of all, and this is kind of obvious, we look for track record, proven track record at the box office, horror movies that are hits, and equally as important, horror movies that you, the fans, love. Secondly, we look for villains or killers that we can replicate in a live Halloween experience. So, for example, Pigman from Saw is a great example of this. Saw works for us because aside from Jigsaw and all the other characters, Billy, we also have Pigman, and this is something that we can replicate in a live attraction. And third, and just as important, is environments. As you go through our mazes, we like to create lots of different environments, change things up. Saw works for this because you have Jigsaw's lair and you have all the wonderful traps from the film series. And of course, My Bloody Valentine, while it takes place inside a mine, we also take you into the town of Harmony, we take you to the Thunderbird Motel. So we look for great environments that we can bring to life for you, the fans of Halloween Horror Nights.